Well, hi everyone, my name is Mr. Lee David Carter, and this is just a quick video to talk about what's coming now regarding the second book release, Transmangelic, and also the national TV documentary film, which is due to be aired very soon, national TV, possibly next month, November, could be pushed forward or back, don't know, but it's very soon. So there'll be press releases going on before that is aired. So it's a quick video really to talk about the second book that's due to be released. It's a continuation of the first book, Living with Lisa, regarding the story. I mean, the first book talks about me being born as Lisa and going through a gender identity crisis for 40 years called gender dysphoria. It's a mismatch of the body, those that assign a particular birth, male or female, and then feeling like the opposite sex. A lot of people say that might be because it's a mental illness, but I don't see it like that at all. I just see it as genetic, which scientists have proven. I mentioned this on national TV, ITV, this morning show, with Eamon and Ruth coming on there as a guest. So, you know, I don't see it like that at all. And the thing is, gender dysphoria has been around for thousands of years. You know, the gender spectrum system is so vast now. But it's just recently now it's been exposed about and talking about a lot in the media. But, you know, I was born in 1968, so I came from a generation where it wasn't even really spoken about or talked about in any way, shape or form. You know, when I was a kid, everybody looked at me as some kind of tomboy or butch lesbian, and you know, I was just a male trapped in a female body. Whether you can understand that or not, you know, it's just all about educating people and making people aware. And then, you know, the most frightening thing is to wake up one day and find you in the wrong body, and how lonely and frightening that can be for anybody going through that. And me coming from a generation where it wasn't even spoken about or heard of, you know, who do you talk to? Where do you go? I didn't have the support or guidance of my family. You know, my family were broken. You know, my parents went through a divorce from, you know, a young age. It was dysfunctional. So this story continues from the first book. Not only that, I mean, everybody has a story to tell. We've all got a story to tell, but I suppose what makes this story even more extraordinary is the fact that, you know, I was in a dark place for 40 years. It wasn't just gender dysphoria I was suffering with. It's also the issues of broken family, ended up in prison, ended up around the wrong people, the law of attraction. The dark place that I was in all stems from the core development of my childhood growing up, which is the most important part. You know, your parents, your mum and dad are two people in the world that you look up to, and you know, whatever they do in life, you know, they've done the best they can. All is forgiven, but it's taken me years of healing. And what's come to the surface now is something that needs to be spoken about, because whatever's going on inside of us is going on outside there in others. So my purpose here, my story, my journey, what I've been through, I've come here to help people. You know, again, without putting any labels on it, I'm like a beacon of light, very gifted, very connected to spirit and the divine, without getting into any kind of religions or belief systems here and in that. You know, I understand the concepts, and everyone's entitled to their own belief. But we live in a world now that has changed so much and so quickly. The power of spirit, as you call it, God source, is energy. It's light. It's everything, and nothing is separate in the universe. Everything is connected, and we're all divine. So there's just many of us here that are not awake, and there's those here that are awake, and they're very much awake. And you're just a human being, a spiritual being having a human experience here. Your body's just a vessel, okay? So all I wanted to say is whatever goes on inside of you, the experiences, the traumas, the memories, anything like that, is also going on inside somebody else out there in the world. So none of us are separate. So what I'm about to talk about with regards to the road to recovery, I'm 53 now, and I've been sugarcoating this. And I'm going through probably one of the most challenging times right now. So it's all going to be exposed, it's come to the surface. And I work with truth, love and light. I'm not going to hide my divine self, my true self, who I am, who I work with. And in the first book, it spoke about Archangel Michael. I wear Archangel Michael every day. I'm very close to the angels and the divine. I'm not going to put a label on it, who I am. I've just come here to do some work, to be of service on the planet. But first of all, before I go any further, with the first book, Living with Lisa, what makes the story extraordinary is because after that 40 years of darkness, going through the transition, I had experiences with the angels and lots of, should I say, extraordinary events, which have still been happening to this day. So I'm very open to the spirit world as well. So I'm not just a trans man that's come here to live this journey and experience it, because we're all on a journey, we're all going through experiences. That's why we come here. I look at the world as a learning school, and that's what it is. We just come here to learn and experience. But my purpose here is my experience, my journey, and what I've come here to do is to help people. And there's many of us here on the planet that have just come here to help people and help the world, where there are others that have just come here to help themselves and not be of service to others. So that's the difference. Okay, so that's what makes it extraordinary from the first book. The second book is a continuation of the first book of basically the patterns that you go through in your life based on those memories and experiences that you've had as a child, and what you've grown up, how you've grown up, how you've developed, that core development of who you are. And why we tend to do the things that we do, the patterns that we have in our life. It could be abuse, those patterns of relationships that we get into with people, such as friends, relationships with lovers, why we go through these experiences, these repeated patterns. And I'm going by my experiences because of what I've been through. So I've learned now what's been exposed to the surface, because the second book, suffering with abuse and traumas, what I've been through in my life, has come to the surface now. Basically, there's no more sugarcoating on this. I called out to the divine for help, and I needed to heal what's inside of me, and this appeals to everybody out there. It's not what's outside what's going on, it's what's inside. Once you work from within and clear the inside of yourself, all those memories in the subconscious, hand it over to the divine and clean it up. Whatever's inside of you, those memories, those experiences that you've grown up with as a child, is to clean up. Hand it over, and just hand it over. Just say, please forgive me. I'm sorry. I love you. Thank you. It's Hooponoppono. It's an ancient technique for meditation, to clean up, to go back to zero, back to the beginning, to erase those memories. It doesn't matter how they got there, who did it, or why. Don't even ask all that. Just hand it over to the divine and just clean it up, basically. Once you start cleaning, and by the way, this is a process, and it can be a very long process. It's taken me years to heal. I got told 10 years ago, and handed messages from the divine that, yeah, that's great. You've gone through your transition. You've gone through that process of being where you was for 40 years in that dark place, and you've transitioned to be the person you are physically and whatever. But hang on a minute, they said, you need to heal spiritually. There's lots of work to be done there as well. At the time, I didn't understand it, but now I do. So this is the second book. It's part of my journey, what I've come here to do, because I'm here as a light beacon to help others. So whatever I'm going through, whether it be the gender story or whatever else has happened, I'm here to spread that light out into the world and help people. That's what I'm here to do. So, the second book is called Transmangelic. It's to do with recovery, the road to recovery from abuse and traumas and so forth. So, this is what I'm here to do, to be of service and spread light. I'm that beacon here. So, it's through meditation and cleaning up what's inside you. Once you clean up what's inside of you, then you'll find it's not about going on the outside of you to make changes. You've got to start from inside and clean up. Once you clean up on the inside, you'll see the power of the divine. You'll see everything start to change on the outside, like your mortgage, like your debts, like love, like relationships with family, relationships with friends. It starts to clean up the people around you on the outside. That's how powerful the divine is. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. So love and light, peace, love and blessings. Namaste. Stay tuned, because now I'm just preparing now with everything around me, what's going on with the networks and press and organisations and so forth, with what's here now. And then, the story continues, and then everything's going to come out with regards to the platform. So love and light, everybody. Spread the love, and I'll speak to you soon.